Hello, everybody. Welcome to Take the Black React, the special edition of Take the Black Live. For myself, Dan Selcke, editor of winterscoming.net, and Josh Hill, editor of fansite.com, walking through the latest Game of Thrones stuff. Each of the 6 final episodes of Game of Thrones will be here, recapping, discussing, breaking them down. I want to hear from you. I want to hear from you. And I want to hear from you about what your opinions were. Josh, that was it. We still have no title for this episode, by the way.
We don't.
HBO is keeping things so close to the chest, it's basically inside it.
We still don't have an episode title. I'm just really jacked up by how jacked up you are. It's like, this is a drug for you, man. You're high on Game of Thrones right now. This is great.
I mean, it's been almost 2 years, like 2 full years.
It has
by the
been.
way, hello, everybody.
Hello, everybody.
Leanne, Lisa, Ismail, Jack, Candace, Karen, Leanne, Jacqueline. Leanne thinks too short. Jacqueline says, wow, it's so good. Okay, let's get right to it. We have about 200 people watching us.
Hello,
everybody out
everybody.
there. Let's just go with the first reactions. Josh,
Yes.
what do you think?
What did I think?
Did you think it was good? Did you think it was a good premiere?
I was slightly underwhelmed by it.
Tell me why. Why are you underwhelmed?
Well, I mean, because we're reading the books right now, and it reminded me a lot of those chapters we've been going through, where it's like we're setting the table for things to come.
Which I mean, it is a premiere.
Yeah, and we knew that was going to happen, and I think it's kind of like a Phantom Menace effect, where we're expecting so much because we've been waiting, like you said, for so long for this to come back.
I mean,
that now
600 something days.
Yeah, and we were just saying it for the show went on, the first words we hear are a eunuch joke, which didn't necessarily land. But that's kind of the tone of the episode for me was we're expecting a lot, and we got a short episode, 54 minutes.
That's not short. That's
But
not a lot
in
order.
comparison
That's
to
like
what
3
we've
Friends
been
episodes.
we've been told we're going to get these massive episodes, these feature-length episodes.
That
and
was
the one out of
never
the
a
gate
guaranteed thing, though.
is 54 minutes. But I enjoyed it, though. It was just
I take it
not
as a
lot.
personal offense that you didn't like it. Or thought it was underwhelming. I actually really liked it. I liked it a lot.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I thought there was a lot of rich stuff to dig into there. I mean, Game of Thrones has always been. It's never been all action all the time. I don't think it should be. I'm sure we're gonna get to that. They have some huge stuff planned.
There was solid moments in the episode. The overall
Yes.
episode was if I'm ranking these 1 through 6 at the end here, this is in the middle towards the end. But there were solid moments in the episode.
Hey, Julie, Pamela, Sharon, Yoli. I'm so glad some people are joining us. What was one moment that stood out to you? What's
where
back
to
in the
start?
face?
I mean, do you want to start with the dragons?
Let's start with the
dragon
dragons.
ride?
That was my favorite bit. I mean, I'm kind of 2 minds because, fantasy characters riding dragons, there's a bit of a cheese factor to it. And isn't so weird that Kit Harington was in How to Train Your Dragon 3, not a couple of months ago, and now he's live action How to Train Your Dragon riding on a dragon? I think it's kind of funny. But I mean, I couldn't help it. They swept off, and I was kind of swept away. The cinematography was beautiful. I think also the music during that. Did you notice that?
I did.
That was a beautiful score. That's new. That's new from composer Ramin Djawadi. That was some good stuff. I was in it. I loved the panoramic shots. I loved the swooping. I felt John was scared. I liked how he was a little nervous about it, and they were smirking back. I thought it was great. I thought it was a rush. And I mean, I think Game of Thrones can get away with that kind of sequence, even if it is a little like a little fan fiction-y, lovers are gonna ride dragons, because the rest of it is so grounded. And also, oh God. Okay, well, I have some more thoughts, but what are your thoughts on that?
Well, my thoughts on it, I think it's important because it's to me, after what we saw from the rest of the episode, the thing that it set the table for was that's probably the last happy moment that John's going to have.
Exactly. That's what I was thinking too.
Fantastic.
Really quick, Sasha Phillips says that even Drogon is not down with the incest.
Very true.
That Drogon was looking at him, was angry. That was adorable. That was good. I liked that.
Drogon knew.
Drogon knows why you're having
know.
sex with your relatives.
Well, he didn't know at the time, but we got to that. But that's to the point of that's the last happy moment that John's going to have before everything just completely goes off the rails. Because then later in the episode, he's dealing with, oh my God, Ned lied to me my entire life, and he's the most noble man that I've ever known. And it turns out I'm going to have to go toe-to-toe with my girlfriend/sister now. So,
Aunt.
yeah.
Aunt, not sister.
On whatever. I mean,
it's not whatever. We have to get this right. You know how the Game of Thrones fans are like? No, you get the relationship.
No, I know what incest is like, and if you're related, I don't care what you call it. It is gross. And if a dragon can point it out, that's where we're at. But that's what was cool about that to me, because it was the last. Everything is going to hell for John now, and that's kind of he was in this childlike joy. Like you said, he was scared, he was nervous, but then he was happy, and it was this whole thing.
It definitely was like a joyful moment. In this kind of show, doesn't have a whole lot of them. And the scene afterwards where they made out in front of a waterfall was, again, definitely very
It's a bit on the nose.
Romance novel. But, I mean, it's saved by Drogon being jealous. And, again, the fact that definitely they are being happy so they can kill it later.
Yeah.
And I thought they foreshadowed that in a number of ways. I mean, obviously, we have the big, okay, you're in love. Well, the Northerners don't like Daenerys. And also, you're related, and you're the actual heir to the Iron Throne. That obviously, that's going to come up.
A lot to unpack.
I thought this more. I like the more subtle bits, though. I liked when Varys, Tyrion, and Davos were talking about, maybe after the war is done, these two can get together and rule happily ever after, maybe. And yeah, you saw this too.
Yep.
I really liked it. Varys was talking about, I don't know, old people versus young people, and just said and he just looked in the camera and just said that uncomfortable truth: nothing lasts. And I'm like, oh, if that is not a thematic underline, I don't know what is.
Yeah. Fast forward to everything else that we saw in the episode. Like, I don't know. The dragon thing was cool because it was the closest that we're going to get to a walk in Central Park in a romantic movie in Game of Thrones. Like, that's what that scene was. But I appreciated the scene you're talking about, Davos, too. Like, hello. A small moment in this episode of grand things happening. Every time we see him, that's good. But no, nothing lasts. Like, this show has told us time and time again, nothing lasts. So the fact that we're all attached to this Jon and Daenerys thing.
I would be shocked beyond shocked if they make it to the end. There's
What's
no
the
way.
episode? What episode are you putting? Over, under?
4.
I'll go 3.
Okay, fair
3.
enough.
Things have to come to a head here at some point.
It's gonna get rough.
Oh yeah.
Okay, and I love it.
What did you think about? What did you think about Sam kind of like poking the bear?
I thought it was good.
Because Sam was like, he's got to. Bran was like, you got to tell him, like it's time that he knows. But Sam's got some ulterior motives going on here. He just found out that Dany cooked his father and his brother. Like and then he goes and he's like, you're the king. You're all of the 7 kingdoms, not just in the north. Like he's got something going on there.
Yeah, it is. I mean, Sam's always been a bit of a player. Like, remember, what's kind of funny? There are a lot of callbacks to the episode. So remember, Sam is the guy who originally argued for Jon to be Lord Commander of the Night's Watch back in the day. Like he did a stump speech for him.
Okay.
He got him elected. And here we are, a few seasons later, he's doing kind of the same thing.
Yes.
But only it's king of the whole 7 kingdoms. It's circling back like that. I like that part. I thought John Bradley, who plays Sam, was pretty effective.
Oh, it was great.
I thought it was really good. Very strong. I was feeling it. I mean, and I like that whole scene. It makes sense that Jorah would introduce Daenerys to Sam. I like that Daenerys was upfront about it. Like, yeah, I killed your father and brother.
We got something to discuss there, Sam.
And, Sam has always been a vulnerable, likable character, so it made sense that he would well up like that. And I like that. It gives
the
Sam
anger that came out of him too.
Yeah.
There was like anger
it's
that
good,
came
man.
out of him. That was good.
It gives Sam some edge.
And then he backed
doesn't
down
have
right
edge.
away because John came up and he like looked him straight in the eye. There was that cool little scene where he's like walking towards him and like Kit Harington's like looking at him with his eyes in a certain way, and Sam just right back in, wide-eyed, and he's just the turtle goes back into the shell. But that was a really cool interaction, and it was a highlight of an episode of reunions.
Oh,
Like
utterly.
so many reunions.
Before we get to that, really quick. So, what do you think? How is that going to progress? So, is Jon going to assert a claim against Daenerys, his girlfriend? I mean, like, so now he knows that he's the heir to the Iron Throne.
Yeah.
Clearly, Sam knows too. Okay, here's something. What if Jon doesn't want to tell anybody? Because you said, like, I didn't want to be king of the North. I didn't want to be Lord Commander. Everybody keeps putting me in position of authority. I bent the knee. I'm happier this way. But clearly Sam wants it. What if Sam, like, leaks the info to somebody like Sansa, who also would be happy with a competitor to Daenerys being queen? That's how it gets out.
That's where I'm at. I'm at because we're expecting this big blowout between Jon and Dany, which is that's the easy crutch to
I don't
lean
know
on.
about big blowout, but there's got to be some conflict.
No, but we're expecting a conflict where it's
Yeah.
going to be like, you're, blah, 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 or whatever. Like, you're my aunt, and we both have to battle for the throne and all that kind of stuff. When this entire show, I mean, Littlefinger's existence has been to just kind of be a weasel in the background and have a finger in every pie. And, Sam, not necessarily a bad character, not immune to emotion, as we saw in this episode, and not immune to maybe making a bad decision based off of that emotion, which would
I'm
be
not sure it's a bad decision.
telling Sansa, who also very emotional. She could kind of throw some shade at Dany. That was cool.
Oh, that would be my pick for best line, by the way, was Sansa asking in the room, what do dragons eat? And Daenerys saying, whatever they
Whatever they
want.
want.
That was pretty good. If I had to pick best line, that would be my pick. We had somebody here say their favorite moment was the, I've always had blue eyes, which fun. But
You said you didn't like that. You said that was too wordy. I went to bat for that, and you shot me down.
Well, we do it right here. I didn't like the joke at the beginning. I don't know, too obvious. I thought the other I've always had blue eyes joke is more clever. I don't know. I think humor is all about the timing.
You said humor can't be clever?
Fun.
It was good.
I thought it was too wordy to land.
What was the best joke in the episode for you then?
John, you've ruined horses for me.
That was pretty good.
Well, no, the best joke was probably Daenerys saying whatever they want. I thought that was great, which wasn't exactly a joke, but it still made me laugh.
Dark humor.
Because there's some funny stuff. I bet Jenny turns into a mad queen, says Laura. Maybe. And we had someone ask where Brienne was. Brienne was in the episode. Mm-hmm. She was kind of when everybody greeted people at the front. She didn't have a line. Grey Worm Honey didn't have a line. Podrick wasn't around. Who else were we missing? That's about it. We had a lot of people in there. There's a lot to talk about. What do you think of the opening? I loved the opening.
Yeah.
I loved it's a direct callback to the very first episode where Bran climbs up Winterfell to see King Robert's procession approaching. Now this little rando kid climbing around. I loved it. I loved stuff like that.
There was that, and then there was the callback at the end of the episode with Bran and Jaime looking at each other. And the look on Jaime's face when he realizes, because he turns around and he's like, who's this cripple? And it's like, oh, boy.
That was great.
Oh, God.
The look on Bran's face, just like...
What look on Bran's face? Bran has no look on his face. Bran is just dead-eyed, creepy little Ted Bundy kid.
It's placid, and that's very different than what Jaime was probably expecting. Another candidate for best line of the episode is Bran's... Sam's like, what are you doing? I'm waiting for an old friend, who is Jaime, we find at the end of the episode. I thought that was great. I loved that.
The also funny part about that, too, is Jaime's like, oh, God, he's going to tell somebody. It's like, dude, you have no idea how much Bran knows.
He's not.
Like, that is, like, low on the power ranking of things that he's going to say that he's learned over the course of this series.
Yeah.
That was great. That was a great bit of acting.
It was. They're very good. It was great acting all around. Like, I think a lot of people gave good performances. Daenerys was good. Jon was good. Sam was really good. God, what next?
Do we want to talk about the reunions?
Yes.
Because there's a lot of them.
Arya
and Jon was tops.
That was definitely the best one. Oh, that was so sweet, man. I liked that Arya wasn't there to greet him. It made sense that Arya wouldn't want to do it in public. But then, of course, and again, another little payoff moment. How'd you sneak up on me? Like, she can sneak up on anybody. She's basically an assassin now. She's sneaky as hell.
And the other good line, too, she's like, how do you survive a stab through the heart? And he's like, I didn't.
Yeah, that's a good line.
That's pretty good.
And, that hug was so good. Which, again, also call back to their hug in the second episode of the series. I'm a big dork. I watch a lot of this show. When he hugs her in the exact same way, picks her up. It's a whole thing. That was totally a callback. I loved it. Very emotional. Arya, we didn't get a ton of her, but everything we got I liked a lot.
Well, she was Gendry, too. So.
Yeah. Oh, actually, that whole first bit where everybody was walking by, it was Arya Stark, this is your life.
Yeah.
It was Jon Snow walks by, and Arya looks at him like all wistful. The Hound walks by. Arya looks at him, oh, crap, that guy again. Gendry walks by. She gets a little smile. It was Arya Stark, this is your life.
Yeah.
And I really liked that bit a lot.
All of the faces for the faceless assassin.
Maisie Williams has the most expressive face. She always has. And they put it to such good use, which is why it's ironic. She plays like a placid, faceless, literally person. So many layers in this show.
It is. A lot of layers. But she had 3 reunions.
She did.
Jon, which was good.
Great.
The Hound, which
also
was hilarious.
really good. Yeah.
And then
that was funny.
That was
I liked that. The Hound. Of course, the Hound would see this person who's really important in his life and just call her a horrible name and walk off. Yeah, of course he would.
But it was like dripping with respect. It was like it was definitely like an Arya the Hound reunion. I was into it. I liked that.
And then, was there some flirting with Arya and Gendry?
There's absolutely.
Are the shippers'
Milady
hearts
Stark,
aflutter?
and then he just drops it to Milady.
No.
I was like, all right, I see you, Gendry. I see what you're doing.
We don't know any other rich girls. Arya's really interesting because I think we saw her smile at episode more than we have in the past
a decade.
Yes, it's the first season. So I'm keeping a close eye on her.
Yeah.
How do you reconcile being someone who's at one time gouged the eyes out of a dude and then stuffed his mouth and then slit his throat and then went on to poison an entire room full of people with with my brother, oh, good to see you again. How do you manage that? I'm really curious about where she goes this season. And I'm curious what Maisie Williams did it. Okay, and Brian Jones thinks best line is when John asked if we used needle. She's like, once or twice. Also a really good line. There were a lot of good lines.
There was good lines.
I don't want to downplay the one-liners. A couple didn't work for me. I guess there were a lot that worked. Okay. Shall we go to King's Landing?
King's Landing.
Okay.
Euron and Cersei.
Euron and Cersei and Yara. Euron got some screen time.
did.
We've never really spent quality time with him.
Do you want to spend quality time with Euron, though? Because I don't.
I mean-
Cersei sure as hell doesn't. Like,
She had to be real talking about that. I mean, I want all the characters to pop, so I think we should spend quality time with them. And I like that Euron had a scene with Yara, just talking to her. Mm-hmm. Like, not the most memorable thing in the world, but it's good to have like him in a quieter situation.
yeah.
He does seem like the most arrogant man we've ever met. I can buy that, what Cersei said to him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like him. I like the energy that Pilo Ashbeck brings to the show. I liked him this week. I thought he was entertaining.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what else to say. Like, yeah, but the interaction to me that stood out was not Yara and Euron, but Yara and
Cersei?
Theon.
Yes. Okay, go on.
That was good because you said it seemed like it was a goodbye, and I don't think it looks like a goodbye.
Yeah. So
for
okay.
Yara.
So so Theon rescues Yara from Euron's ship. He takes her aboard. I guess he steals another ships. They're always stealing ships. These Ironborn people. And then Theon and Yara have another goodbye hug. So many hugs this episode. Mm-hmm. And Yara's kind of like, "You want to go to the Starks? Go. You can go to fight the North." I guess the question that we were talking about, and I'm wondering what you guys think, was that the last time we will see Yara Greyjoy?
No.
Why not?
Because you're not that. First of all, she's got a role to play still. Like you have to have all of the cards in the deck if we're dealing with what we're dealing with here, the White Walkers and everything. So Yara is going to come back at some point. I don't think that she has a lot of time left, but she's definitely. We talked about like episode 4 is when the Jon and Dany thing is going to go off.
Right.
I would say maybe episode 5 you could see Yara come back. She's the type of character where we had some screen time in the premiere. She's there.
Sure.
She kind of fades into the background and then gets called up back to the forefront when action starts to happen. So I don't think we've seen the last of Yara.
I hope not. I like her character a lot, and I hope you get more of her. How about Bronn? That was unexpected.
Unexpected, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, okay,
He also had
I
one of
guess
the good lines in the show, too.
Which one?
He's
Oh,
like
that
that
fucking
effing family, yeah.
We probably shouldn't swear. Maybe we can. It's Game of Thrones. Like you all know. You've all seen swearing. You saw it just now.
This is Take the Black After Dark. Let's go.
Take the Black React. You know.
right.
I never know what to do. But yeah, so Bronn in a whorehouse, full on. I guess they just had to get in some Game of Thrones nudity.
Oh, yeah.
With 3 women. Oh, did you catch, by the way, one of them were talking about what the dragon did to the Lannisters, and the one prostitute said, Eddie came back and his eyebrows are singed off. 100% Ed Sheeran reference because he was in the Lannister army. That is a little Easter egg there.
Easter egg callback. I didn't pick up on that, but now I enjoy it.
Yeah, I want to Eddie. That's absolutely what we're talking about because that was like a whole big stink and it was like whatever and it was so stupid. But yeah, that was that. So Ed Sheeran kind of came back a little bit in this episode, and I'm happy for it. Bronn is being quoted by Cersei to go kill the Lannister brothers. Mm-hmm. Your thoughts on this development?
Well, it's not wholly unexpected because Cersei's kind of off her rocker. But the question is whether or not Bronn actually goes through and does it. Like, what's Bronn's end game here? Like, what's his angle?
Money.
Well,
Riches, a castle, and a wife.
I feel like he's come so far in the series that it's going to be a Han Solo situation where he's going to be met with, what do you want? Your riches and your wives and your castle and everything that you've wanted this entire time? Or are you going to kill Jaime?
Well, if he kills Jaime, he gets all that stuff.
I know, but I don't think he's.
Or at least kill Tyrion. I guess.
I don't think, but I don't. I think that's when Bronn's heart grows 5 sizes too big.
Oh, I hope not.
You can see that coming though. He's got that kind of arc.
This is Game of. I don't know. Bronn has been pretty consistent. Bronn worked for Tyrion. He could have fought for him in the trial by combat. He didn't because he's like, look, I could, but I'll probably die. And your sister offered me a lot of money, and then he got it. And then Jaime took him away. I mean, Kyburn had a point. Jaime and Tyrion have both not made good on their promises to Bronn. Maybe he tries the other Lannister sibling.
He could.
I don't know. I think this is the kind of show that doesn't have to have a come to Jesus moment. Like, you can just let a character be a selfish climber. And Bran has always wanted, above all, to rise in the world. And if that means killing Tyrion with a crossbow, which is hilarious.
That's true, but I think that the way that
might do
Bronn
it.
goes is that he finally has his come to Jesus moment and is going to do the right thing and then instantly dies. So he finally becomes a good person, and it's his ultimate undoing.
Maybe. That could be fun, too.
I'd be for that.
As long as there's some irony. I love the irony. Okay, a couple more bits. Let's just talk briefly about the Sansa. Okay, so the Northerners, including Sansa, kind of at their head, are not too psyched about Daenerys being in the mix. I loved the first bit where Missandei and Grey Worm are riding on the horses, and the Northerners are looking up at them like, "Who are you weirdos?" It was a little bit like a racist Northerners.
A little bit.
It struck that, and obviously Sansa, not a fan of this development. What do you think of that?
Well, I'm not surprised she's not a fan of this development. She's
Right.
got direct competition now. I mean, that's why she's so pissed off at Jon, because she's like, why did you bend the knee? Because you were trying to save the North, or because you're thinking with something else?
And she has a point.
She has a great point. She absolutely has a point. Because I don't know where John's head is.
I mean, he's definitely in deep. I mean, because when Sam was like, she killed my father and brother, and he's like,
yeah, but
where
do his ideals begin to blur? Because he does have a very well-defined vision of titles don't matter. This is all existential, crap that doesn't matter.
Right.
Because the White Walkers are coming. So he's very right with that, and he's dug in that point of view. But he also it's now bleeding over into, he's using that reasoning to say, it sucks to suck that your dad and your brother got cooked by Daenerys.
Yes.
But so when does that become a problem? I'm unsure that the confrontation is going to be Jon versus Dany. I think it's going to be Jon is so in Dany's corner that he's sacrificing everything, and it's turning people like Sam against and Sansa against him.
And there were other things, like Sansa had the note, like saying, "Oh, this one northern house, yeah, they're not coming." Like, why do you think they're not coming? It's because there's Daenerys here, the Targaryen who killed all their family members back in, not sure her father did anyway.
Because I wonder how well it's going to go over when he says he's a Targaryen.
I mean, again, I don't think he would say it. My guess is Sam leaks it.
But
that's my guess.
Sam leaks
it's going to
it.
get out. Drama.
Sam leaks it, and then we're dealing with a situation where John's so far into Dany's corner, right or wrong, that he then owns it, and then you've completely opened up the can of worms with Sansa and with Sam and with everything. The Lannisters, they're going to get involved with this. Like,
I'm not sure how, but yeah, it's going to be good. I mean,
they're going to have to. This is a situation everybody's going to have to deal with.
Well, I mean, like Cersei's original plan was to just stick around down south, let them fight the dead, and just kill each other. But I mean, I don't know. She has a giant army. You figure they'll get in there at one point. I wonder if Euron will have influence on her, because now he's in there, and he could do some damage in King's Landing. Maybe I don't know, lean on her or something?
I don't know if Cersei can be influenced by anybody.
She could be killed.
She could be. But I feel like she's far more important than Euron. If Euron finds a way to kill Cersei, I think that's a cop-out.
Twist.
It would be a plot twist.
Would be. All right, there's more to discuss. Let's hit the scene with Tormund and Ed and Beric. I thought this was pretty gruesomely effective, finding a young Ned Umber
style.
You thought so?
Yeah, it was very true detective-y.
Yeah, I could see it.
Yeah.
And there was that shot where I think it was, I don't know, Tormund or somebody, and you saw the kid in the background speared through a wall. You could see his eyes were a little bit blue, and I was like, "Oh no, 21 is going to get you!" And then it did. I thought that was great. I thought that was nice and horror movie-esque.
Yeah, it was. I mean, it's a hell of a message for the Night King to send.
Yeah.
Like, my God. That was what were all of those things? Like, what does that symbol mean? What is that symbol?
Well, that symbol has been from the beginning. Like the White Walkers always make that symbol when they kill people.
Okay.
They make stuff they arrange. What's that? Oh, maybe.
Targaryen symbol?
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, they've always made spirals in the snow. Like the very first episode, they find dead body parts arranged beyond the wall in a spiral, and they do that a bunch of times throughout the series. So that's consistent. We've seen that before. And it's also the symbol that the Children of the Forest have on their little cave paintings. So will we find out what it means finally? Is it the Targaryen symbol because it kind of looks round? I don't know.
Could be. I mean, I don't know. You're the expert. I'm asking you. I have no idea. So.
It's definitely the spiral they've been making all show. But I'm curious to see if we'll find out if there's more to it.
It was
For right
gruesome.
now, all it
gruesome,
was
though.
it was just
it
good.
was grotesque, and it was a hell of a message
Burning
to
children
send.
always
Well, with the
risky
Night King
move.
and children, not a good mix.
no.
Ever.
It just just on film it's always to kill a child. I mean, it's always like a place it's risky to go. I don't know, but if you want to freak somebody out,
the
the
screams
screams.
were screwed up too.
kid screen burning, yeah, it's horrible.
But I do like the flex. It was a hell of a flex by the Night King just to be like, here you go. I'm here in the background, which again, the theme of the entire show is that he's just there in the background. But I do like we were kind of reminded in a not so subtle way.
Yeah, that's also that Dan Trenton points out the spiral where the Night King was created of stones and trees. That spiral recurs a lot. It's definitely a recurring thing in the show. So don't worry, they're going somewhere with that. Okay. Anything else you all want to talk about? We've talked about a lot of topics. I thought it was a great episode. I mean, it wasn't like a thrill a minute. I don't think it needs to be. I don't think it should be.
Good. It was solid.
This is a part 1 to a 6-part final season. Mm-hmm. What else do y'all want to talk about, if anything? Yes, poor Lord Umber, Julie. I agree. What?
Lord Umbridge.
Lord Umber.
Umber, whatever.
That's the kid. Its name is Umber, Josh.
Umber.
You get it right.
I got it.
This crap matters. Yeah, I think we hit more or less everything.
Should I call them wildings?
Because that's what they are. They're wildlings.
I know, but I'm saying it not to piss you off.
Oh, gotcha. I mean, you can. I'll stab you with this fake
The
knife.
fake knife with the candles. What a setting.
All right. So
I'm trying to think if we missed anything. I don't think we missed anything.
Pretty much not. I enjoyed that Cersei was pissed off about there not being elephants. That was cute. Northern races. Yeah, pretty much everything. What are you looking forward to next episode?
Well, it certainly seems like, if anybody watched the preview, that Jaime and Dany are going to have a moment.
Yeah, that'll be fun.
That's going to be fun and not at all contentious.
That'll be great. I'm looking forward to that.
I mean, this is the battle lines are starting to get drawn because we have everybody's been a little bit kumbaya with,
Well, not
I mean,
really.
there's simmering drama where we've got some shade getting thrown between Dany and Sansa, and there's, Jaime and Bran had their moment where Jaime was like, "Oh, that's the kid that I pushed out the window. Oops." But now we're going to get into a situation, and like Tyrion he's both struggled with this in past seasons, loyalty to Jaime and loyalty to Daenerys and Jon. Like,
Yeah, totally.
where do his loyalties lie? Now we're going to be bumped up against it where Dany is directly saying, I've been waiting to get the guy who killed my father. Now I got him. What are we going to do about this? Where Jon then is going to have to politic, and where does Tyrion lie? Because that's directly.
I bet Brienne plays a part. She'll stump for Jaime.
Well, that's splitting Tyrion down the middle because he's got Jaime on one side, and then he's got Dany on the other, and then Jon's in the middle here, and we've got this whole thing. Like this is. I'm ready for
it's
all of
kind of what Sam said. Like, Daenerys wants all these Northerners to forgive her family for, admittedly, things she didn't do. Her father did horrible things, but I mean, she's asking them for forgiveness. Can she forgive this man who has turned a new leaf? I mean, we know that. I don't know if she knows that, but Tyrion can vouch for him. And I like the question Sam asked. So Jon gave up his crown to protect his people. Would Daenerys do the same?
So far, she hasn't.
Well, I mean, she doesn't know that's an option.
No, but it's like in the course of her character arc, she is the gravitational pull. Like everything comes to Dany.
Right.
Dany
She
never
is the
gives
queen.
anything. When was the last time Dany went out and gave something to somebody?
I mean, she gave freedom to all those slaves.
She did, but what did they then do?
They were free.
And the implication that you get to serve Dany, like this is you join the army, the Unsullied,
server.
and all this kind of stuff. Like Dany does not give.
I disagree. Dany wants to give prosperity and peace to the Seven Kingdoms. She just wants to burn a lot of people to do it.
And there you go, the dichotomy of her.
It's going to be tricky, yeah. It's going to be a tricky, like, we just read that book passage in the Clash of Kings for A Song of Dan and Josh, which is every Wednesday, but not for the next 6, where she stays with her handmaiden who's dying in the Red Waste for, like, a whole day, just, like, holding her hand until she dies, then moves on. She's a compassionate queen. But she's also...
There's compassion inside, but it's also... It's shrouded in a lot of angst.
It is. She's a complicated lady, and I'm looking forward to seeing how these personalities clash. And I'm sure, and what's the great thing is, into the midst of all this clash is going to walk the army of the dead.
Oh, yeah.
Which is going to be, my prediction really quick, is that they're going to argue. The army that's going to be upon them, they're going to be distracted by the arguing to the point that they lose whatever big battle is coming. And it's going to be really brutal. People are going to die. I don't know exactly who. It's people with names. No one really died in this one except Ned Umber. And it's just gonna be so dramatic. It's gonna tear my heart out, and I can't wait to see it all.
I do like that nobody died except our friend.
Ned Umber. And some random people on Euron's ship with like, oh god, like Theon butted an axe in his face and he like took it out.
Yeah, that was
All right, prop department, get it.
that was intense. But I do like that we kind of had this whole setup. Everybody's expecting these things to happen, these big moments to happen, and it's the last season. People are going to die in every single episode, and we have 5 left now,
5 left. 5 left.
and nobody big died. So
Wait for it.
wait for
All right. Well, thanks everybody. That was the first episode of Take the Black React. We'll be here every Sunday after each episode to break it down. Oh god, it's going to be an emotional time. We hope you'll join us. And 5 to go, and then Game of Thrones is over forever. Don't miss it. Every Sunday after the episode. Thanks, guys, for watching. Adios.